All right, now that we have a east-west line, let's go ahead and test it against our compass. So I'm going to move my dial over to east, put the red in the shed. Looks pretty good to me. Good morning. Hey, welcome back to the Expeditionary Johnny channel. Hey, if you're new to my channel, you're going to see here the theme of my channel is to help removing obstacles to get outdoors. Now that could mean things like time, ideas, or maybe equipment. Today we're talking about ideas, okay? All right, so today I'm out doing chores and I finally got the sunshine that I wanted for my Groundhog Day solar navigation video. So I thought, let's go ahead and come back and revisit that topic, okay? All right, navigation. Everybody always talks about you just need two things, right? A map and a compass. Well, compass is pretty easy to get a hold of nowadays. You know, just go to Amazon and you can get a decent compass, no problem. It's the map that's the problem. So most state and rec parks, you're going to get this type of map here. You're not going to see any contour lines. You're not going to get any lat longs. You can't really do any navigation other than follow the lines and look for the intersections. So what do you do then? All right, well, the two things I recommend are one, pace count, which if you go to this link here, you can see where I practiced doing a little bit of pace count at Fontenelle Forest. And the other two is just learning general directions, north, south, east, west. So that way, if you know your general escape route, you get your general bearing, and then you can work your way out, okay? All right, so let's suppose we're out on a day hike. We have our map, but we didn't bring our compass, and we come across an intersection, and we know we want to head like in an easterly direction. Well, first you got to figure out which way is north, and then how to turn right from there, right? So let's look at a technique on how to figure that out, okay? All right, so here's a very obvious situation where you can figure out north, south, and east, west. So we've run across the road. It's about 8:30 in the morning. So that means what, the sun rises in the east. It's going to cast shadows to the west, right? All right, so you're going to see the shadows going in a what, westerly direction, right? Not exactly west, but in a westerly direction. Well, that tells you this street then is run in generally a northerly direction. All right, so about 15 minutes ago, I put my solar compass on the ground, accounted for solar declination, and figured out north-south. Now at the same time, I also placed this little cat toy at the end of this fence post shadow. Well, you can notice this shadow has already moved quite a bit. So let's show how much has it moved. That much. All right, so what's happening here is when I placed this first cat toy, the sun was really low in the sky, so it cast a very long shadow. Now, as the earth rotates and the sun moves around going from an easterly to a southerly direction, the shadow's going to start moving more toward the north, right? And it also gets shorter. So now as I place this cat toy here at the end of the post, you're going to actually start seeing a line develop, which is our east-west line. Okay, so about another 15 minutes or so have gone by, so I went ahead and rotated our solar compass to account for the change in time. So that's our general north direction. Our compass over here verifies that. So let's go over here and mark our shadow to see if we can get a pretty good east-west line. All right, now that we have a east-west line, let's go ahead and test it against our compass. So I'm going to move my dial over to east, put the red in the shed. Looks pretty good to me. All right, so once we find our north-south line, you know, either using a solar compass or maybe tracking the shadows for about 15 to 30 minutes, then from there you figure out what direction. Like if I want to go east, I'll do a 90 degree to the right. If I want to go west, I'll do a 90 degree turn to the left. And if I want to go south, I'll just do an about face. There is another backup method for solar navigation. That's where you use a watch where you point the hour hand toward the sun, and then half the distance between the hour and noon is going to get you your north-south line. And why is that? Well, if we look on our solar compass, we broke up our hours every 15 degrees. So like on this, we've got 24-hour markings because there's 24 hours in a day. On a watch, you only have 12 hours marked. So at 3 o'clock, like here's our 3 o'clock position. Normally on a watch, it's going to be here. So what's half the distance? Right up here. So that's why. All right, well, this brings us to the end of another video. I hope this inspires you to get out and try new things. Hey, start testing those shadows. You know, you can always, as you see some shadows cast out on the ground, whether it be from a fence post, a stop sign, compare that against the timing on your watch and see if you can start figuring out general directions, north, south, east, west. All right, y'all take care. Have a good week.